Welcome back to Random University, where today we're discussing the traveling cesspool called the Passport Bros, a group of guys who have left their village of the United States of America to travel overseas to becoming a walking version of hepatitis for the pro-man's movement. Today I'm going to discuss why would they go, why would I say these things, is it wrong, and I'll also give some final conclusions to this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, as if you do share and like these videos, it does help it with the algorithm and it helps push these videos. And if you like some of the stuff that's going to be discussed in today's video, please do so, because if you do it, then it'll actually spread and will get out there to more people, so more people can actually see this content. And if not, then well, I guess it's going to stay in the mud, which would be unfortunate. But I really appreciate all the people who have subscribed to this channel up to this point so far. So we're getting close to 1.2K, and once again the goal is still 10K. But let's get to 2K first, and then, well, you know, I can continue to dream from that point forward.
Creep on in, on in, on in.
Point 1. Why do they go? The reason they go is to get box and submissive women. To get the box is to get the booty. Booty equals treasure, and everyone is searching for the treasure. When thinking about treasure, there is usually a map, a blueprint of sorts on how and where to find it. That's why there's so many fake gurus on relationships and how to hook up and smash women. They sell you the dream of how to get that treasure, even though they don't even have a clue of how to find it and where it is. Some people are willing to kill off their friends completely just to get that treasure. And that's why they sell a dream and map or blueprint of how to find the box, because nothing is better than a beautiful pot of gold. So what is the definition of submissive? Submissive means ready to conform to the authority or will of others, meekly, obedient, or passive. Well, that sounds great to have out of a woman or partner, except most people who use these talking points seem to want their partner to act and perform more as a pet that they can bang legally without facing the wrath of PETA, or basically they want their own personal slave. Now, there's nothing wrong with being submissive, just don't let it come to the detriment of your freedom or mental health. With that being said, being submissive can also mean just being more agreeable on things, but most people don't want to describe it that way. Usually these passport bros expect you to listen to every waking command that they have, just like if you know, you were a Sims character. Also, because their intentions are never genuine, and they think for some reason that they're smarter than the natives in the foreign countries that they visit, and they don't even know the culture, can't speak the language, and they usually are broke as shit. And this is the reason why they dumbasses end up poisoned and chopped up and placed in suitcases somewhere and buried underneath fruit trees. Point 2. Why would I say this? If you've ever listened to a passport bro speak for about 2 minutes, you'll understand. But the reason these guys adopt this lifestyle is usually pretty sad and effed up, and sometimes on some predatory type of stuff. Once again, why would I say these things? Well, mostly because they can't pull anything here. These guys have no game. They have no quote unquote riz. And riz is basically just a modern day term for, well, game. And the lack of riz usually comes from a lack of overall confidence and interesting things to talk about. Men usually like to talk about, well, masculine things, which isn't always a fun topic to discuss with every woman one-on-one, but it's not like they can't talk about these things. But what are masculine things? I don't know, I'd say exclusively sports, cars, video games, or working out. Now, there are women out there who like to talk about these things. Unfortunately, most guys aren't usually trying to lay the pipe to these women, because they tend to be more bros or one of the homies. Now, I will say, if she's fine enough, a man will damn near kill all of his boys just to make sure that they can't have her. Then she turns out to usually like women, and he ends up super alone and contemplating running out in the middle of traffic anyway. But usually these guys are extremely socially awkward, lame, have zero notable skills. They aren't even overly intelligent. They can't ball, they're bad at video games, they have terrible taste in movies, they can't clap cheeks, and they usually smell like duck butter, hemorrhoids, and dingleberries. Weirdly, these guys also tend to be a tad narcissistic, which is the weirdest part, despite all these deficiencies. Now, point number 3 is it wrong to be a passport bro? It's not wrong to be a passport bro at all, as every man should do anything and everything it takes to be as happy as possible without being a detriment to others and society. But most men who go and join this movement do it out of anger, rage, and little energy. or simply a place of loneliness that can only be described as a sunken place, the true depths of hell mentally. The issue I have with these guys is that they can't leave and go about their business without leaving a trail of trauma behind. They constantly bash women they used to talk to, or they blame all the women in their country that they were ex, that they've been around, even though they've never probably actually attempted to talk to any of these women in real life. They're just mad and angry. And yes, many of them have mommy issues. They sound like the wannabe athlete who's mad that they aren't on the basketball team and they never even tried out because they convince themselves that there's nothing that they can do because the coaches have already had their favorites on the squad, which might even be true. But how would you know if you didn't even try? That's how their lives are, and usually with women, and I hate people who complain about fictional and hypothetical situations that they never fully embraced or even attempted in the first place. And lastly, final conclusions and final thoughts. Now, my final thoughts on this matter are really just the fact that most of these passport bros are extremely strange. They're very weird people. They're very off-putting. And I just think that the message that they're actually outputting out there to their fans and the people who watch their videos is very negative and very negligent of the fact that they're very self-hating, and it reeks of a lot of mommy issues. A lot of them have issues, especially with black women. And it's like, man, if you got so many of these issues, go talk to somebody, because you're just sitting here and projecting all your pain and all your trauma outward to the world to see. And a lot of people who follow these guys, they all have the same problems, and a lot of them kind of sign off on this rhetoric that really isn't positive, and it's not good. Now, not everybody's going to be on these platforms to, promote positivity or change men's lives or, do anything besides just make money, because that's what most of the purpose of being on these platforms is to make some money. And that's what they're doing a good job of, is, robbing a lot of these people of money. Because quite frankly, a lot of these passport bros usually just end up in bad situations overseas where they end up stranded, and they end up being begging. They end up basically sounding like homeless dudes out there with cups of change saying, hey, change. That's basically what a lot of it is. They're just begging people to send them more cash apps and send them more super chats. That way they can continue their journey when most of them don't have any real jobs. Most of these people are pathetic. They're leeches. They're vermites. They're termites. They're vermin to society. All they do is leech off of other individuals. Dang, I can't speak today. But either way, they are not good individuals when it comes to morals. A lot of these people will take every last bottom dollar that you have and basically all the money of their fans just so they can continue to have fun. They don't have real jobs. They just travel on the fact that they don't need a lot of money in some of these countries. So if you can beg and bum for about a day or so, you can go back out there and continue your adventures of trying to pay for poon on the side and try to buy chicks off the side of the corner. And that's all they're really doing. And that's the most frustrating part of it, is the fact that they got fans who genuinely seem to care about these individuals for whatever reason, even though these guys will badmouth them to their face in the chats or on their live streams, basically say that they're worthless and nothing. And they're the people who are out there begging. Like, they're the ones who's out there begging for money, begging for crumbs, begging for anything just so they can continue their little worthless journey out there overseas of basically trashing black women and trashing women over here in America in general. Now, yes, women over here in the West do have a lot of flaws, but so do the guys. There's a reason why you left. It's because most of y'all are weird guys. Y'all are strange individuals who do not know how to have normal conversations with people. You don't know how to fit in. And like I've said earlier, you don't have notable skills. You don't have anything that will really resonate with those around you. You're not creative. You don't have an imagination, and you don't have friends. You can't talk to chicks. You can't clap cheeks. You can't do a lot of stuff. And that's the reason why most of you mugs are alone. And that's why y'all feel so terrible. And that's why you feel like you need to leave. You pack your bags you pack your bags like a hitchhiker and you just hit the road. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Basically, it's a story of you guys, except for Papa wasn't a loser like you guys. And that's what the sad part is when it comes to the reality of these passport bros. And that's why I call them a walking cesspool and a walking version of hepatitis. And they're basically a version of, there's no need to keep going down that rabbit hole. But just still, these guys need to get their act together, and they really need to stop blaming everybody else for their problems. And that's what my biggest issue is with these individuals. Now, if you liked or hated the comments or the content that I gave you today or the commentary or whatever, please leave it in the comments below. I don't mind. Like, if you hate what I said, that's fine. If you like what I said, that's great. Just make sure you leave something below. And if not, have a great day. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll see you soon.